Get it right, get it tight.
Oh shit.
All right. What up, bitches? Omega Magic is here doing my first live stream. Yard, beaming and streaming. This is a historical moment on here, I guess. Yes, fuck it.
Yeah, 3 o'clock in the morning, my time.
It's 1 o'clock my time.
403.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because I'm on the East
Let me
Coast.
know. Let me know. Finally, attempt to share my screen, and we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you guys will have to forgive me for being a little tired at this point, but
I'm unexpected. I didn't expect all of this to go down like right now because I did come.
Me neither.
yeah. Well, listen. This is a filler arc. Okay.
But yeah. So let's see. We're memeing and streaming. It's late. I don't even know how long this shit will last, but because I know we're all tired. It's 1 o'clock my time. I live on the West Coast. It's 3 o'clock your time. You live on the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh yeah.
So, can you add what I'm sharing to the feed?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait, Dark Master. You're not shared on here? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Finally. Nice.
You see it?
Yeah. I mean, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it, but it's like, okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Yep, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the categories are metaphysics, which deals with first principles of the world. So like, just things like does things that exist. Logic deals with consistent relational order, so like the structure of the world. So it's like you have the rules, and then the rules give a certain structure. Like just imagine a board game, right? And there's specific rules of the board game, and then the rules they lead to the game having a structure. Because if you don't have rules to the game you're playing, you don't have a structure for the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So epistemology is about how do we know what how do we know what we know, and what is knowledge, and so on. We understand epistemology from the structure, and then finally value theory, the last category, the last of the four major parent categories, are what it deals with is about what matters to us. So out of the information, right, that we've acquired in epistemology, how do we discern what matters to us and what doesn't matter to us? Because obviously like there are things that matter to all sorts of people, but what's that like? How do we organize the different things that matter to people? That's what value theory is dealing with. So I wrote this document. It's a pretty short document, but I wrote it to help people get into building their worldview and helping them understand this broader scope. It doesn't tell people what to think, but it just asks them a set of questions to help stimulate thought. So it's divided into three parts: reflection, science, and value theory. There is what is the starting point, which is like what is a person's worldview predicated on, right? There's being and becoming, which is existence and change. There's what are patterns, what is consistency, what is potentiality, what is structure, how is logic understood? These are all questions in metaphysics. When you get into logic, you're dealing with, okay, well, what is the foundation of logic, of the foundation of the consistent relational order? What are the types of logic? And then finally, it asks about the philosophy of mathematics. So like, how do you go from general logic to mathematics? And then in epistemology, it asks, what is knowledge, what is belief, what is justification, what is truth? how can we have knowledge? What are good ways to acquire knowledge? What are bad ways? If you guys have ever heard of fallacies, this is where fallacies are.
Word.
And then so what is your philosophy of self? Meaning, like, what is the how do you go from the rules and the structure and your understanding of how you know things to really recognize yourself? And then what is the argument for the existence of the natural world, right? Like the world around us, you can kind of think of as we understand it empirically. I should say, so like, I'll highlight this, right? Everything like till this point is operating within what's called rationalism, right? Because the idea is that there's a force of thought called reason that pushes the thought through a structure, and that's how we understand things in a fundamental way. But as things get more complex, we can't do that as well. So we rely on what's called empiricism, and empiricism is any information you get through your sensory experiences. So, taste, touch, sight.
Right. Okay.
And that's where this comes in, and that leads directly into methodological naturalism, which is the school of modern science and the school of modern history, because the idea is like you take methods, you take methods and you apply them to what you can experience with your sense perception, and you see what you get.
Okay.
And so then it goes into establish your philosophy of science, meaning foundations, methods, and implications of science. What is the essence of science? What is the scientific method? How do you read scientific material? From there, it starts to talk about the boundaries of science. So what are so it says establish your boundaries of science, meaning where the scientific method can be applied. So it's like, if the scientific method can be applied to the general universe, right? This doesn't say physics, because of the fact that it's not trying to tell people what to think. But like, if you did apply the general the scientific method to the general universe, that would be physics. But again, it doesn't say that, because I want people to think about this stuff. I don't want to just be like, hey, do you accept physics? Because most people would say, yeah, of course. But to
cut you off real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody in the chat, I'm not everyone. Yeah, everyone that's in the stream. Just a quick question. What is your religious preference? I'm gonna ask real quick. Eric, what do you believe in? Do you believe in a God or not?
I believe in Allah. Allah is God.
Okay. Money SS. Do you believe in a God?
Jesus Christ too.
I used to be an atheist. I did, but now I'm more of an agnostic now.
The two can be compatible.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you, especially in a minute. Dark Master, you're an atheist, and just like me, so we got.
I'm an atheist. I'm an agnostic, and I'm an atheist. I just want to say that,
and I just brought that up for contextual purposes, because as atheists, we tend to cling on to science, just like Christians would cling to religion as far as their beliefs go. So that's why I'm bringing it up. That's why I'm just.
My atheism is predicated on my metaphysics and my logic. It's not predicated on science. I mean, science is consistent with my atheism, but I don't base my atheism. Like, I don't base whether or not I believe in some meaning of God, right? Or rather the lack thereof. I don't base that off of anything in science, really.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to establish what everyone in this live stream believes in before we go before you go more in depth onto it. You know,
Sure. But I just want to say that
establish that.
I just want to say that this document that is designed to help people. It doesn't matter if somebody's an atheist or a theist. They can they can I mean they can work through this stuff all the same, because this document again isn't trying to tell people what to think.
Right. I'm just saying. That's exactly what I want you to establish too, essentially, because I don't know if how in depth people, because I know religious can. I'll just keep it real. Like, I know religion can be a touchy topic, and I know some religious elders can be can look at science and be like, no, or with metaphysics, like you said, and be like, no, my Bible says this. I don't know if there's any religious elders in here that are like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, I don't want to trigger anybody pretty much before we go interact. This is just me having you explain your side of the story without.
Well, I also want to.
You know what I mean?
So I also want to add, right? What I'm describing is a set of categories and questions in the categories that are ways people tend to organize this information that they think about. This is not describing what I personally think.
Okay,
I should make that quite clear.
Yeah, that's cool. Like, pretty much like I'm a person that likes to hear everybody's point of view. Like, even as no matter how unorthodox it is. Like
to be clear, right? The way that what I personally believe, generally speaking, about my worldview, right, is separate from the way in which people tend to organize information that informs their worldview.
Okay.
You know, there's a distinction between that. So to go over the science thing, right? So yeah, establish your boundaries of a science, meaning the scientific method, meaning where the scientific method can be applied. Can it be applied to the general universe, right? If you say yes, then that's physics. You know, if can it be applied to the composition of matter, chemistry? Can it be applied to celestial objects and phenomena? That's astronomy. Can it be applied to earth science? That's earth sciences. Can it be applied to life? That's biology. Can it be applied to humans? That's anthropology. Can it be applied to the minds of humans? That's psychology. This is where psychology is, by the way. Can it be applied to language? That's linguistics. Can it be applied to patterns of social relations? Can it be applied? This is sociology. Can it be applied to production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services? That's economics. Can it be applied to the governance of social relations? That's political science. And then finally, can it be applied to law? So if you notice, right, there's you could almost imagine a triangle where it's like it can apply to like the most things in physics, whereas it's least applicable in law because of the fact that you're increasing the complexity. So we're less able to apply the scientific method the more you go down. And you can see how it builds off of each other. And then it asks, you know, what is the historical method? What is the historical timeline? Value theory focuses on fundamentally, you know, what is the essence of values? What is the mechanism for the manifestation of value? You know, are values relative? Then what are they relative to? How do we tend to interact with values? Value theory also includes aesthetics. Aesthetics is it includes art, beauty, and taste. So aesthetics is about patterns of the world that are pleasurable and displeasurable. And then, of course, art, beauty, and taste fall are subcategories that fall within those. Ethics is about how we ought to behave, as in what is best behavior. So, what constitutes harm and help, respectively. Establish your political theory. sometimes political theory is called political philosophy, but it, like, when you say political philosophy, it kind of sounds more broad than it is. And political theory, as in like what you think is best politically, like what you would advocate for politically, that's where this belongs.
Okay.
And then finally, it does talk a little bit about health. It says, are you physically healthy? Are you emotionally healthy? Do you have a meaningful sense of purpose? Are you intellectually healthy? Is your personal environment healthy? Are you socially healthy? You know, establish your plan of action. You know, and what are your short-term goals? What are your medium-term goals? And what are your long-term goals?
Yeah. Can you, what's your site screen right here? Can you send the link to me? Because I'm going to.
Yeah, no problem. I just want to point out though, so if you notice, right, and that's because there's a huge logical distinction. Political theory here is categorically very different than political science here. And the difference is that think about it like this, right? There's a big difference between describing what people are doing politically and advocating for something politically yourself.
Okay.
And that's why logically these are in very different areas. That's why political theory is in value theory, as opposed to where political science is in science, in epistemology. I'll send the link here.
Yeah, you're gonna have to send me the link, so because I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna study more on this.
Yeah, but you're welcome to ask any questions.
I mean,
I know sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming, but it's really not so bad. I promise you that it's really not so bad.
Oh, definitely. I don't feel it's bad because, I mean,
it's not that like when you get used to it, it becomes a lot less overwhelming, and you kind of feel really good about getting involved with this greater work of understanding what's going on.
Like I'm gonna have dreams. I'm just sitting here listening to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, definitely, because I'm going to school too. Like he's taking me to school on this shit. Like,
mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Like I got a lot of stuff to say myself because I'm a very deep individual myself, but I'm so tired right now. I'm just listening.
I mean, you can say what's on your mind. Say what you talk. I mean, talking to you pass out.
Right? I'm finna pull a damn burger in this mug. But nah, like hell yeah. I mean, the way we react and the way the world revolves around is a deep topic, and a lot of people don't understand that shit. They don't, but it's good to think and to educate yourself, you know, because a lot of stuff you don't learn in school. So it's good to get this education.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, it's interesting you say that because so when I was younger, this information that I study in college for the discipline of philosophy, which you know, I mean, it's the fundamental subjects, right? This fundamental information, like studying the actual basics of all this stuff, right? That would have served me so well as a kid, but instead I was just forced to try to fit myself into these more complicated areas, but without understanding the fundamentals. And so that's a big reason that I've been a little inspired to work and study on this, because there's such great value in understanding what's fundamental to some area, because if you have a problem there, right, you can have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, but then again, I mean, I feel that, like, I'm pretty sure we all, like, to some extent, we all wish that as kids we would be able to understand and translate this. But, you know, but at the same time, due to the fact that we're kids, and I don't know about you, but I was a kid that I mean, yeah, I was into science, but me personally, I was the weird kid that liked to blow shit up and set shit on fire. You know,
Word.
yeah, I had a weird thing to do that. Like I would set like random things on fire. I was a pyromaniac, pretty much. But you could say,
wait, hey Omega. So let's take what you said, right? What you said is I liked to do things in axiology, the first area, and value theory, and also, or I'm sorry, I cared about things in my axiology, the first area, and value theory, and then that led me in my ethics to want to burn shit up.
damn, you get the technical version out. So yeah, fuck it. Like if that translates what the fuck I just said, fuck it, yeah. But yeah, pretty much like to burn shit and blow shit up. Like it was a weird thing, you know.
Explosives.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's weird too. I kind of fun fact for you. I kind of like try to turn my son on to that a little bit, inadvertently, of course. Like on 4th of July, like I would put like my son. He's afraid of sparklets or whatever. And I'm like, dude, when you were younger, you had a sparklet in your hand, but whatever. But yeah, I even have like a picture of him holding a sparklet, but now all of a sudden, like 2 years later, I believe it was, like he's afraid of sparklets. But go figure. But
so I want to say, right, to just follow with the train of thought. The reason you wanted to blow things up was because you valued doing that, and that's what makes it an axiology. Because axiology is about what you value, and then because you valued it, that then informed how you should behave. Because of course, we act off of our values, so that's how it relates to your ethics. You see what I mean?
Right. Well, okay. Yeah, that's a version you could give. And I mean, if that's what translate. I mean, if that version translates me just saying, hey, it's cool to see this shit blow up. Like I would blow up.
Yeah, no, it does. It does.
I mean, like I would blow. Like, yeah, if that's what it translates to, then fuck it. Yeah, you can say that.
I'm just using your experience to make this more engaging, because you can find all sorts of these funny examples.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. Like I even like Bill Nye the Science Guy, like this TV show growing up and. Shit.
Oh
I
yeah, I used to watch that when I was younger.
Me too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Like I was a weird kid. Okay, like I like weird. Like I guess what people today would consider weird. I guess you could say like I don't know. And my sister was like the bad was like the bad girl. Like okay. When you grow up and there's always that one bad apple in your family. I'm pretty sure you guys have that one bad apple.
Mm-hmm.
Like my sister was that bad apple. Like she got into like all the she was just a bad apple. I was like, but compared to her, I was like the nerd. Like I like blowing shit up. I like science. I like we could go on and on as far as what I like, as far as like Power Rangers, Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Power Rangers, Pokemon, all types of video games. I had like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, shit like this. So I mean, if you take that resume compared to my sister, you will think I'm a nerd. Growing up, fuck it, it is what it is. Like I wouldn't even say like I got good grades in school, but I got better grades than her. I went to both, and because of that, I experienced both private and public. But yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you did something wrong.
I'm just giving some background about me, honestly. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, I never have a below 2.0. However, I made the honor roll, but I never had bad grades. when I was in school, I did have an E in math. I do had trouble with math, and I still am to this day. Cause
I gotta pee, and I shit you not, I gotta pee. Like
What?
the letter P. Like, you know how there's A, B, C, D's, and F's. I got like a P in Spanish. And that means
Okay.
pass. That means apparently means pass without pass. Just pass. You just pass.
pass.
Yeah, because I showed up in high school. Like, I used to smoke a lot of weed, and when they came to teach me Spanish, I would just smoke weed and just pass out. And the teacher was like, "Dude, I'm just gonna pass. Just go." Like, but yeah.
Hey, man.
My educational history is weird because so I went to public school when I lived in the Northeast, but then when I moved to the Deep South, I really didn't like the school systems here, specifically because of how incredibly fucking racist they were.
Wow.
Like that just really turned me off, and so I did a lot of private studying, and that's what.
Wait, well, how was the? I mean, how was it racist? Like, was it racist as far as like the criteria? Like what I mean by like, did they teach you, hey, the Ku Klux Klan were a bunch of heroes and knight in shining armors,
No,
or was it racist as far as like if you're a black person and you passed your test and they were like, nope, you got an F. Like,
no. So the way it was insidious was that it was a lot more subtle. But I'll just give you the starkest example. Right where I live, we still have segregated schools. Now they're not technically segregated, right? But they're de facto segregated, as in like, you know, there's a very clear cultural line where it's like, you know, white people go to this school, black people go to this school, and both, honestly, like both schools are, at least at the time, you know, it's been so long, but both of them were fucking horrible.
Wow.
And so I did. What happened is that I did a lot of private studying, and then when I was 18, I went to college, and yeah, I was an honor student in college when I before I graduated. Although I'm doing more work for college, but that's where I'm presently at.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I get it.
like, okay, so they were segregated. Okay, well, I see what you're saying.
Second,
Like there was like the white kid, like there was white kids. I mean, but I don't know. I don't think it's still answering my question. Like, was it segregated? Like you know, like the white. When you mean segregated, do you mean like, you know, the white kids hang out with the white kids and the black kids hang out with the white kids, or was it segregated? Like the teachers were saying, "Hey, the Confederates were heroes and knight in shining armers." And
Okay. So for a bit of history, when the civil rights movement was going on in the 60s, right, and then the civil rights bill was passed, and legally there weren't any segregated schools. In the Deep South, a lot of white Southerners, right, banded together to create their own white private schools. And so what happened is that there wasn't legal segregation, right, in the sense that there wasn't. Yeah, you can look up
legal
like
segregation.
That's why all these dipshit Southern private schools popped up at that time. It was literally a response to segregation being abolished.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So now I'm getting where you're saying.
And so the thing is that there's deep animosity, of course, where I live between the white community and the black community, and so the whole dynamic was really distasteful to me, and so I didn't want to be involved in that shit, and so I just didn't get involved.
Wow, interesting.
Like
'Cause
one could assume that as far as private schools are broadly, like that's the whole point of. I mean, that's a big chunk of the reason why I truly believe that private schools do exist, so that they can have the I guess you could say freedom to just literally focus on whatever the fuck the criteria that private schools want to focus on. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
like I would
historically-
like I live on the West Coast, and Washington State, you know, and I went to my parents are extremely are conservative. Like, no, they didn't vote for Trump or anything. Well, my mom didn't, and my dad didn't, but at the same time,
Yeah.
they're conservative to the extent like as far as the religious aspect of it, like they believe in God or whatever, and all
like
this other
they're
stuff.
socially conservative.
What's that?
I said they're socially conservative.
Yeah. Like there's a difference between Trump supporters and conservatives, but that's another topic another time that we could go.
Yeah.
There's also like a huge difference between what conservatism fundamentally was, and then American conservatism, and then also what we have today. Really, in the Republican Party, you really have three distinct pieces of political theory. You have the neoconservatives, which is just your the Republican establishment. They're like the war hawks, like the George Bush types. Then you have the
I don't even like George Bush.
then you have the right libertarians. They're like the abolish social benefits types. And then finally you have the right nationalists, and usually the Trump cultists are
Trump. I don't like him either.
All right, nationalists like that. That's like specifically the people that fervently support Trump are distinctly right nationalist, and you have these three ideologies in that one party.
Right, but my point is my I would say my to give, like, I guess you could say the dumb version of it. Like, my parents, they're not. One can assume that they're extremely wealthy because my mom is a real estate agent, and she got extremely wealthy off of that. And my dad was into insurance and all that, so they were pretty wealthy, well, at least wealthy enough to not, for me as a black person, fall into the statistic of me being poor and all this other stuff. But yeah, anyway, like I would like because my mom is extremely conservative and she firmly believes in private schools for some reason. You know,
yeah.
She wanted me and my sister to get into it, but because my sister is too crazy and too crazy to get into a private school, and I'm just so happen to be nerdy and not crazy enough to get into private school. That's how I ended up in private school in like 7th through 9th grade, and then but prior to that, I was in private school for kindergarten to, I believe, kindergarten. Well, I took pre-K and kindergarten in private school, and then from 1st to 5th, I took public school, and then 1st to 6th grade, I took public school, and then 7th to 9th grade, I went to private school, and then from 10 to 12, I finished in public school because I got kicked out of private school in 9th grade because I beat up some dude, and yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
So I want to say historically the divide between private and public schools have tended to be before even race, right? I mean, just generally across the world, the divide has tended to be class.
I mean, I would say race does have a part into that.
No. Of course it does. Of course it does.
Because, like, I put it to
well, I mean, the example I gave
this way, but the private school I went to hyper focused on religion, that's what they
do.
And because I know that's bigotry, like bigots, they like to cling on to religion to justify their bigotry. They'll say, like, I hate black. They'll say things like, oh, I hate gay people because God says gay people are bad. It's shit like this here. Like, I mean, they didn't literally teach me this, but I'm just saying that it's just this is no factor history. Like black people are bad because I've told them to say this.
There's a big segment. There's a big segment of that religion.
But the point I'm trying to make here is that I would be more stereotyped, such as you remember when Columbine went down.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, I know this is anecdotal evidence, as anecdotal as it is, but just and it is kind of a small anecdotal evidence of this. But when I wore like a big puffy first down jacket, like I was told to not ever wear that because I'm a gang member and I don't know if I have a gun. But even though there was literally white boys going around with trench coats, walking around in that school, and it's like you're not gonna.
Yeah, it's like, what could the other difference be, huh?
Yeah, like there's a whole mafia. They call that mafia the trench coat mafia. Like there's no first down coat mafia out there. You know what I'm saying? But
so
that's just small evidence of it. But.
Yeah. I just want to say though, as far as this the public and private schools thing goes, the reason I gave at least one of the reasons I gave that example about the school systems where I live is to show that of course race can play a huge role in this, but what I'm saying is that more fundamentally class it plays an even larger role, because obviously if you want to go to a private school you have to have money.
Right. True. I feel that. Man, class does play a big role in it.
So that's the reason it's played the largest role, because you've always needed to have money if you go to a private school. It has to be paid for privately.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if it's paid for publicly, then it's a public school.
Yeah. But yeah, true. Like me personally, I don't even see the difference. I mean, because my mom, she wants to put my son through private school, and I just flat out said no. It's not ever going to happen, because I mean, me personally, I just believe, 1 + 1 = 2, no matter if you go to private or public school. So why do I need to pay more just for my son to learn that 1 + 1 = 2, as opposed to he could just go to public school and learn that shit? I mean, hell, do this pandemic, right? Like my son, my son and daughter, they have they're pretty much, I would call it homeschooled, because their teachers or their school give us laptops, and then I have to sit there with them and be like, okay, boy, I'm just focused on this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if they can learn this shit in public school, why the fuck do I need private school and pay extra money and possibly be in debt while my son learns that 1 + 1 = 2?
Right. No, I totally understand what you mean, but I think that there's like a deeper frustration, which is that there are environments in private schools, right, that can be more suitable to learning than the environments in public schools. But like a lot of people in their analysis, they just stop there and they're like, okay, so like what, good private schools are better. But like you got to ask, okay, but why would they be better in that area? And like then you start to get into then you really start to get into how we have for a long time neglected our public school system. And so it's not like it's not like private schools are like a solution to the problem. They're a symptom of the problem that we've had with public schools, because like we have really good public schools, a lot less people are going to go to fucking private schools.
Right. Like, yeah, because that has to do with funding or whatever. I mean, pretty much it's just like,
yeah. Dude, teachers in this country are treated like such shit, man.
They really are. Like I don't know, the way I just look at it with people that have that belief, like, hey, just send your kid to public school. It's like pretty much if I were to tell you, if I were to tell my son, hey son, clean your room, and he's like, no, I want a new room, and I'm like, okay, you get a new room, and that it's like the things that apparently you can learn in private school as opposed to public school, you shouldn't have to pay to get knowledge. Like I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
the
Eric
knowledge that
said
you
drop
just
the link
kicked off.
too.
Yeah, yeah, the knowledge that you just kicked off to me, like I'm pretty sure you can only get that in private school. I mean, if we're I mean, yeah, to private school, and you shouldn't have to go to a private school to just learn that shit because knowledge is just knowledge.
Well, I think that should extend. I think that should extend all the way up into higher education. I believe that we should be able to go to a higher educational institute, right, and get good knowledge without having to get ourselves in debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, and I wouldn't even really
It's just so
consider it
fucking
higher.
toxic for the society. Holy shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider it to be like a higher education. I would just consider it like, like well, like maybe the higher education you just explained to me that like there could be a kid's version of it. Like I don't know, Barney the dinosaur could just break down everything that you just told me in the beginning of this conversation, in the beginning of this chat. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I want to be clear, when I say higher education, I'm talking about the complexity of information. So like the more we'll say the more details you add, right? Like that's kind of like what determines the way information is usually given to people because like people have to be conditioned to like receive more and more complicated information. It's like why kids may may learn what their shapes are before they learn any more like complicated geography or geometry.
Right, but is it the only way? But going off of that, the only way that you can be conditioned for that is to reach your kids at an early age, like to accept epistemology and philosophy at an early age, like because kids are by biological definition are less able to comprehend things on a scientific level. I mean,
just on a like on an epistemology.
Well, kids are pretty much. I didn't want to say it like this because it's kids, but fuck it, kids are stupid because of the fact that they're kids.
Well, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like you got to break it down to them. Like you have to give like a kid version of it, of everything that you just mentioned earlier in this hangout.
Yeah. Although I will say, kids can often be a lot brighter than people often give them credit for.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I was voiding the whole kids are stupid thing because I really didn't want to say that, but I just honestly couldn't think of a better way to break it down.
In a sense, it's true, but there's also more to it, which is that oftentimes people think kids are a lot dumber than they actually are. And so they can underestimate their ability to understand stuff. It's also like a thing I think about is a thing I think about, and I think maybe this could go to the heart of what you've been trying to get across with the education thing. It's like I think that there are ways to take a lot more of this like as it's traditionally thought of complicated information and make it way more palatable for kids. Like if I like, okay, just take metaphysics, right? If I walk up to like most people and I'm like, yo, metaphysics are the rules of the world, like if I walk up to a kid and say that, they should understand what I mean. Things do things, right? Metaphysics, those are the rules of the world. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, well, yeah, true. But I mean, also you got to take in consideration that we live in a country where pretty much you got to sum everything you said into a fucking hat. Like if it's not like a 5-word sentence, while at the same time, I mean, YouTube wise, for some reason, it's weird. Like people's attention span here in this country, it's like it goes as far as like I would say 8-minute vid on YouTube or a 3 hour long hangout on YouTube. Like that's the only things they will pay attention to. Like anything in between, they're just like, "Duh, I don't know what this means." You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I think that I think you just touched on it. I do think that you're correct when you say that people are getting information overload, and they're having problems with things like choice paralysis, where it's like they have so much shit in front of them. What the hell do they do, right? But on the other hand, we're seeing this big rise in podcasts, because I think there's a lot of people that are getting tired of the short little 2-minute video or whatever, right?
Yeah,
depends who you ask.
I think that there's a market for longer, serious discussions about stuff. You know what I mean?
I feel it. Me too.
Yeah, I mean, true that. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, we still got a shit ton of dumbasses that are like, okay, dude, if you can't break this shit down to me in like a sentence, I'm lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
hate to gear off to politics, but put it to this way: like 75 million people. Yeah, 75 million people. Actually, yeah, 75 million in particular, and I bring that number up for obvious reasons.
Yeah, no. I understand a lot of the frustration with that, because it's not. It isn't that people are inherently that way. It's that a lot of the conditioning people grow up in really conditions them precisely to be that way. Like it comes into. I mean, it comes into shape through all sorts of. Economic problems in psychology with abuse. It all just cascades to create this really it cascades to create a large set of very unhealthy people is the way
right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, here's the deal. Like, I mean, we could kind of just we might as well just gear this off to a little bit of political talk, if you don't mind political talk. But
yeah, it's so fun with me.
Yeah, like it's like what the fuck do you do with people that, I don't know, believe that a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood are just raping kids and having sex with kids and dripping their face off while drinking their blood?
Well, they're nuts, but the way you respond to what they're saying.
I mean, how would you convince them? Because I'm willing to acknowledge the fact that we're gonna have to live with these type of motherfuckers. Like, like we're just got to live with they live amongst us.
Yeah, well,
people that have like this mindset to where overall conspiracy theorism, not just look at them as like they're just, as far as my overall hypothesis about them is that they just want to be Mr. Right without actually doing the work to be Mr. Right. You know, they want to be, they want to wake up and say, hey, this pen that I have in my hand is not real. It's a hoax. And how I know this because I'm me and blah, blah, blah.
No, but that's the thing, right? That's the thing. You're hinting exactly about what you should do. In a way, you're answering your own question, because of the fact that the way you engage these people seriously, when you do, is you get into their epistemology, right? Like how do you know this? What's the way? What method, for example, leads you to this specific conclusion? And if they can't show you a way, right, then it's pretty hard for them to say much of anything, really.
I'll put it like this. I think it's something to think about. Like, I see what Omega is talking about, but honestly, I think you should just about it, because I know it's hard sometimes to understand where they're coming from when it comes to certain things, but it really is I'm gonna put it like this: the truth is harder to understand than fiction. It really is.
Like, yeah, exactly. And I think you just kind of answered you're kind of explained my side too a little bit, because it's like I said, we're gonna have to live with these motherfuckers as far as this generation goes. We're just gonna have to find a way to live amongst these motherfuckers, right?
Well, I'll give you an example.
So, hold on.
Sure,
But that
sure.
being said, as far as us living amongst the motherfuckers and try to point out their flaw into how they come to this conclusion that this pen is really not a pen, it's really something it's a hoax. Like, when you debunk their points, their points that lead to the conclusion that this pen is not a pen, and then the kicker about it is they'll turn around and say, "Oh yeah, well, you're a part of the deep state. You must be a pedophile. You must be fucking kids in the ass and all this other stuff." And and keep in mind, these motherfuckers are the psychotic motherfuckers that are armed. So, like, how do you deal with like?
Well, you do what people have always done, and you get organized with other people that are reasonable. You have a good model of what you generally think and do, and you proceed from there. Actually, though, as far as conspiracy theories go, my favorite joke conspiracy theory is that they're putting that they have to change the batteries in the birds because the birds are cameras. I like that.
Wait, birds are kept. Wait.
So the conspiracy. This is a joke, by the way, but the conspiracy is that birds are a plot by the government to spy on us.
Oh wow! Now that's new to me.
It's a joke. It's a joke, though. It's making fun of these Alex Jones type.
Right, I get what you're saying, though. Like, that's
but
taking it too far.
It takes it to an even more ridiculous level.
Like, how are birds? Okay, like, who's creating these birds? Like, let me take a wild guess. Who's creating these birds? It's either the Jews or Bill Gates.
Oh shit! Is Eric still here? Because I see he wanted the link. He said he pressed the button by accident.
Oh shit!
Is he still here?
I don't know.
No, he's not here. Fuck.
Yeah, he might want that link. I see.
Fuck.
I can't believe I'm still up. God damn it! It's like 4:00 my time.
I can't believe I'm still up either, but fuck it. This is an interesting conversation. We're just
right.
It's good to meet up with new people.
Yeah, it's been fun. This has been a fun one listening to y'all. It's been a good one.
Yeah. I mean, I think that these sorts of things are really healthy for people to partake in.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, but going back to conspiracy. Oh, go ahead. But I'm just saying, but conspiracy theorists, like, I just can't debate them because I mean, they live in a different world than I do. Like, I can't debate them. I'm gonna just keep it real. This is gonna be a hot nuclear take. And you guys could denounce this on your own channels and whatever. But real talk, I don't know. My plan is just thank God for Corona.
Why you say that?
I mean, well, think of it like this. Most of these conspiracy theories revolve around, guess who? Trump supporters. They believe they believe that, that there's a sex cabal of Hollywood celebrities raping children and drinking their blood while and ripping their faces off, blah, blah, blah. They believe like all types of crazy other things and whatnot. And because Corona is a virus right now and they don't, but not, mind you, they also don't believe in Corona. They believe it's a hoax or that Democrats created it as a bioweapon to win the election. But the thing is, the election's over. But the coronavirus cases has spiked after the election. So it's like, when did the Democrats just be like, okay, fuck it, let's stop it? But whatever. But anyway, with that being said, because their stupidity will be I believe that their stupidity will be their downfall, especially with the coronavirus, to the point where they're like, I'm gonna defy the government and all this other stuff. I'm gonna defy authority and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And I'm just gonna gather and whatnot. That's why I feel like, okay, fine, gather, go, because I'm done trying to convince you, especially since this shit has started 11 months ago. They have just been flat out fucking wrong about coronavirus and how to deal with it. They have been wrong as far as saying that it's a hoax or it's not real. It will go away like a miracle. Even Trump said that that over the summer it will cook the virus up or some shit like this here. He, as not to mention, he said for his supporters to drink bleach, blah blah blah. Pretty much. Don't worry about it. It's all gonna be good. They have been wrong about this shit since day one. They have been just flat out wrong. And as they've been wrong, millions of people have contacted the virus and it's growing as we speak. And millions of people have died. We now lead the world in number one as far as death cases and shit like this. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, as far as I'm concerned, it's like with them, I'm like, you know what? We're done convincing you. Fauci's should be done convincing you. If you want to go along with, if you want to quote unquote defy the government or what the fuck ever for your quote unquote bullshit freedoms, go ahead, go die. I don't care.
This is my question. Well, what makes you think that the government is so much for us? Like, because like they have their own shit. And this is how a lot of people operate. A lot of people operate in the fact that they don't want you to know what they really do, especially when you don't have what they got. Like, I understand what you're saying about, the virus and what's going on. But what I want to tell you is that you got to look a little more deeply into what's going on and why it was put out in the first place, because it's something really going on. And it's not so much about, like, define the government. It's more about people just like, look, this is how I feel, this is how I think. Because when you look on the media, you look on TV, it's always the same shit. That's how something is up. But honestly, I think you just look a little more deeper to what's happening.
I want to stop you right there.
Control.
Well, okay. Well, at the same time, I want to stop you right there because there's people literally saying, "Yeah, defy the government or go against the government," blah 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 blah. But it's like, you do realize who's in the government, right? The dude that, well, for one, you do realize who's in the government, right? The dude that you love and not saying you personally, but I'm talking to those people that were like, defy the government. Like, there's literally people out there saying, "Hey, the government's trying to control you," blah blah blah, and all this other shit. So it's you do realize.
Can I just say though? Can I just say?
Go ahead.
Can I just say sociologically, right? We're talking about a political difference between a very substantive political difference right now between the right nationalists, which are the Trump supporters, and the neoliberals, which are the centrists. In fact, neoliberalism itself, for a very long time, has been the globally dominant ideology. And the reason why is, well, I mean, it goes to our history following post. It goes to our history following World War II. But everyone from Reagan to Obama to the Clintons, they've all been
Obama.
Neoliberalism is fundamentally a preference for a tendency for a lack of intervention in market economies. Not a very catchy definition, but that's what it is. And the neoliberal establishment is hell-bent on maintaining their control over the world, but at the same time, we have the right nationalists, which are even worse. And so I've talked about this before, but this is why in the United States and for much of the world, there hasn't really been a serious left in a long time. Like, there really isn't a serious left. So it's just a difference between the centrists, right, which are better than the right nationalists. But
I would say that's more like a funding issue, dude. Well, and at the same time, I feel like because there's also progressive soon that you forgot that you got to take the equation. And I feel like the one thing I don't like about the progressive movement is, well, the thing is they want to get money out of politics. But in order for you, I feel personally like in order for you to get money out of politics, you're gonna have to take some money from some big donors and then just turn around and fuck them over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
you gotta take the money from the big donors.
I think it's a lot more about collective organizing, really.
Yeah, I mean, like you're gonna have to just do that. Like it's gonna happen. Like it's like if I were to get into a snowball fight and you're throwing snowballs at me, but I'm like, man, I'm gonna stay in the house. Fuck you. And you're just throwing snowballs at my window. Like I'm not gonna win that snowball fight. Like that's what I feel like the downfall of progressives would be.
Well, as far as American progressives go, I mean, let's like we do need to acknowledge, right, that a lot of progressives that are elected now have declined super PACs. Obviously, one of the most famous examples in recent memory is just Bernie Sanders, you know?
Yeah, and talking about that, I mean, I would say the difference is like it's one thing to, I mean, not to try to diminish people like AOC and, you know, rest of the squad members and shit. I'm not trying to do that. But there's a difference in between getting a congressional seat and arguably a Senate seat. I don't think there's any progressives in the Senate right now, but there's a difference between that as opposed to the presidency as a whole. Like grassroots funding may get you a congressional seat, and I could explain why. Like, because I have I know friends that like this is an interesting con. Like my mom's friends who are conservative as well. Like they run for their district positions, right? And they only run for in particular districts, and they just because they realize that nobody is there to run against them, and the people that are there to run against them, they're not going to offer any significant pushback towards those positions. You see what I'm saying? And with that being said, they will win by default, and they will get essentially into office. Like,
well, so I think that Noam Chomsky's right when he talks about. So I don't agree that it is. I don't agree that the answer is taking money from large donors that have a very distinct and different incentive. I think that the answer, like if we look at the history of the civil rights movement, the workers' movement in the early in the 30s and 20s and, you know, up through that, if we look at the LGBT movement, right, all of this has always happened because people got more organized. And the fact is that in general, progressives for the last 40 years or so, right, and the left in general has not been very organized. And so I think that the idea
not very organized.
They're right. You're right. I agree with that.
There's a really great movie. I would really recommend this documentary by Professor Noam Chomsky called Requiem for the American Dream. Where
the American Dream, baby.
Yeah,
sorry about that.
It really contextualizes American politics. And it's a really good explanation for where we're at right now and what we need to do in the future.
Right. Because, I'll be down to see that because I'm definitely trying. I would love to be down with the progressive movement. They got a lot of great progressive ideas that I'm definitely will be in favor of. Like, to be fair, Biden was not even on my top 10. I do not like Biden at all whatsoever. Yeah. I don't, you know.
Although I voted for Trump, but
I mean, Bernie Sanders was my number one guy that I wanted to gun for. Like in my top 5 was like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, and if I had to go with the centrist, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris number 4, and Andrew Yang number 5.
That's the first Black female vice president. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I mean that's my order. That's my personal preferences as far as like who I wanted to be for president. But
yeah. Well, when I voted for Biden, I didn't really vote for him. I voted against Trump.
Yes, definitely. That was the selling point. Like, hey, we don't like Trump. Like, Fucking Ronald McDonald could run against Trump, and I'd be like, fuck Trump. I'm voting for Ronald McDonald. Honestly.
I mean, it's a difference between a candidate that has serious major drawbacks in the form of Joe Biden and a fucking cartoon.
I know, but I'm just being I guess I'm being facetious, asshole. But
you're fine. I'm just saying, like Trump was like cartoon levels of.
Oh, you're talking about Trump as a cartoon, not Ronald McDonald. Okay, I'm stupid. My bad.
Yeah, I'm saying like the choice was between a very problematic candidate in the form of Joe Biden versus a fucking cartoon of a like.
Like I feel like as a progressive, like if I'm going to be down for if a progressive wanted to push back against the government, the power as it stands right now, you could push back on Biden and get more, have more of a higher rate of success as opposed.
To I agree with that. I agree with that. Biden's more susceptible to pressure, whereas Trump's just off in his own world.
Yeah, like. Yeah, where right now he's still like he just I just seen a video where he just held another rally about how he won the election. I was like, okay, dude, like, is this what you're gonna do like for the next 4 years? Just say you're president? Like, I don't know. Is he gonna like take all the money he took from all of his donations and create his own White House and be like, yep, I'm still president, damn it? Like, is this what you're gonna do until the day you die? Like,
yeah, he can live with that fantasy.
It'll be funny, it would be kind of hilarious to see, but at the same time, it's like a joke it's a joke that needs to be taken seriously. Like,
yeah, for sure. Okay, let's keep in mind, by the way, that before the Nazis took power and overthrew the Weimar Republic, which is what came before, nobody took them seriously, and that's why they were able to do it. Right. So I'm not saying like that Trump supporters and, the right nationalists in America, I'm not saying that they're as obviously as bad as the Nazis. But what I'm saying is that they're on a very dangerous path, and they are very comical, but they also have an effect, and we need to take that effect seriously.
Effect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, I don't know with Hitler, at least with Hitler, I hate to say anything good about him, and I'll probably get heat for it, but whatever. Fuck. I'm not good thing I'm not a popular channel. But but the thing is, I don't know, at least Hitler took care of his own people. Like, going back to the Corona thing, like the least Trump could do, like if I'm Trump and I have a big ass following, I would tell my own supporters, hey, listen, there's a dangerous virus out there, and I care about you. I want you. I care about you enough, at least if he had to inject some assholishness into him, he could say to him, hey, I care about you and you too, because I need you and I'm here for you. So I want you to wear a mask. I want you guys to practice social distancing, all these other things. And at the same time, I'm willing to use my power as a presidency to, while you guys are under a lockdown, to protect your guys yourselves. To give you guys still ability to pretty much stay at home because there's a virus out there that is killing people. Like, I'm pretty sure Hitler would do that too, at least his own Nazis. Like, but Trump is just like, no, fuck it, it's fake. Who cares? Come on out, support me, clap for me before you die. Pretty much.
I don't know it. I think it's hard to say, but I will say this. Hitler didn't support his own people. He tricked his people into thinking that he supported them, and that it really is what is why this this huge fascist lie manifests.
And that's exactly what's going on right now. Like, did you notice, like, when you look at the percentages of the death rate, is lower than actual real diseases. And did you also notice that a lot of people who so-called got it, notice that nothing happened to them? You notice that every like high figure that gets it, did you notice that nothing ever happens to them? But they always
said high figure. I'm glad you mentioned high. I mentioned high figure because they have higher access. Like, example, Trump had Corona. And the reason why, I mean, you could say that he got over it is because he's the president of the United States. He's going to receive the best care ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you sure that's not what
But
they
I was
want
just,
you to think, though?
sorry.
Are you sure that's not what they want you to think? You know, you gotta look at it from different angles. Like, are you sure that's not what they want you to think?
I'm
So you
sure of it
think
because
that you
he's the
can't do
president
it?
of the United. My dude, he's the president of the United States. He, of course, that he's going to get like first dibs on the best care for whatever disease is out there. He's automatically gonna get that, no matter
So how did
who
he
he
get it?
is.
Money.
So how did he
I can
get it?
respond to you directly.
I
But
mean,
want,
well, when he tells his people, well, for what, I mean, the virus, you can easily contract it as far as not practicing social distancing,
Did you
and
notice
that's
that
what
the
the
symptoms
rhetoric
are
that
the
Trump is
same as the
preaching to
common
his own
cold?
supporters.
Did
wait,
you
can I?
notice that the symptoms are the same as the common cold? Like, did you notice that? Like, did you notice that the
No,
symptoms?
it's like no, it's not the same as the flu. Like
It
we've seen,
is
no,
because it's just like the flu. Just like when you get around someone, they be like, "Oh, you could get sick, this and this and that."
no,
And
because
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real with
there's a
y'all.
greater
Let me tell
statistic
y'all something for
danger
a second.
to the
Hold
flu
on. Let me tell y'all something.
But
than
let him finish his point. If you let him, I'm gonna
I
hear
ain't give a damn about that since this is started, and I'm fine. And I ain't about, oh, I'm lucky. It's just because I actually see what's kind of going on. Like, I mean, they're literally saying people got it when they got other stuff. I mean, look how people are not working, not getting shit while they stay in
Mm-hmm.
power and stay in work. They stay doing
Stay
what
in
they doing
power.
while you gotta suffer as a human being while they don't.
Well, there's a problem with class in all of this, like there's been for a very long time. But as far as the two viruses being like as far as their danger goes, empirically, the coronavirus, specifically COVID-19, which is what this virus is, that is significantly more dangerous than any form of the flu that
But the
exists.
number's not adding up though. But it doesn't really. It's still not equaling up past certain diseases like tuberculosis and stuff like that. I mean, why all of a sudden now y'all want to do this? You know, it's
Like
just something to think
the
about.
virus itself isn't the most deadly virus, but the unique thing about COVID is that it's deadlier by orders of magnitude than something like the flu, and it can spread much easier. So while it's not as deadly as something like Ebola, it can spread a lot easier. So it gets around a lot more. It can affect a lot more people.
Okay, now let
COVID.
me tell you this. Let me tell you this. Look how much control they done got over us because of this virus, right? Look how we can't do shit. And you want to know the funny part? All this shit that's going on now, I been knew they wanted to do. I been knew this shit a long time ago. But what I didn't know is that they were going to use a virus to do it. Because think about it. They don't want us talking about to each other. They don't want us around each other. They don't want us working. They
Mm-hmm.
don't want us going to school. Just think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Why they do. They do.
I mean,
They have millions and billions and billions while we sit here and listen. I mean, we wouldn't even know what it was if they didn't tell us. We wouldn't even know what
if
it
that's
was if they didn't
Well,
say
there's
it.
different days though. There's different days.
I mean, I'm gonna interject real quick because I've been
One
taught.
thing.
I mean, to respond to that point, I mean, because if you want to look at it as a form of control, you know, when politicians advise you, hey, stay at home or whatnot to help prevent the spread of the virus. I mean, you're free to do that, but at the
Let me
same
put it
time,
like
it's
this.
like,
There's no elite class of any country that wants coronavirus to come in and tank their economy.
exactly. Okay.
Yeah. It's like it won't go away. See, COVID is worse than in
I gotta
shit.
use the bathroom. You guys talk. Use the bathroom.
Okay,
Well,
COVID is worse than Ebola and the flu. No, the flu. No, flu is the second one up. The first one up is Ebola. The first is Corona. It's Corona because it's still rising to the top.
well, Ebola's been essentially in most places eliminated, like for a long time now. the thing with the COVID, why it's still such a problem in the United States, is specifically because of the response. Like, other countries are managing it much better, right? Like, there isn't really a COVID problem in China. There isn't really a COVID problem in Korea. They had a COVID problem, right? But they dealt with it. They dealt with it quickly and aggressively. Whereas here we didn't respond well.
Yeah. This is Donald Trump's fault.
That's what they want you to think. That's what they want you to think. But
well, no, I think
that's not
that
true.
empirically we can show that it's his fault. Like beyond just like any sort of person's conjecture. I mean, like, the way we process information directs us to the conclusion that it is Trump's fault. And I honestly want to respond to like what you're saying more generally. Money. I know of a really good way to do it. I hope you don't mind me showing something, Omega.
Oh, go right ahead.
I assume you guys.
I got many more points. I could say points all day.
Yeah, don't you?
Coronavirus debate. Fuck it, we're going on a coronavirus debate.
No. I want to broaden this. I want to broaden this a lot, actually.
Okay.
Okay. Can you guys can you guys hear?
Yeah, I can hear it.
So this is a really good introduction to epistemology, which epistemology is about how we get information that we know, and like what is that like. This will specifically help you, not just you, Money, but like it'll specifically serve to show the way in which we approach this, just at a very basic level, and I'll show you.
My name is Jennifer Nagel. I teach philosophy at the University of Toronto.
You might want to mute yours.
I want to talk to you about knowledge.
You might want to mute yours.
Human beings naturally crave. We spend a lot of time and effort trying to gain it, for example, by watching videos like this one. We also have natural instincts to keep track of what other people do and don't know in order to make sense of what they are doing. But it's surprisingly difficult to give a good explanation of the nature of knowledge itself and to say how knowing that something is true differs from just thinking that it's true. When we try to figure out what knowledge is, we encounter some interesting questions. This series explores these problems and explains how philosophers have tried to solve them. This particular video will focus on some basic features of knowledge, features that any good theory of it should try to explain. So, what kinds of things can you know? The English verb know is used in several ways. You can know a person, Alice knows Pierre; a place, Pierre knows Paris; or a language, Alice knows French. But the most common way of using the verb to know is the way we use it when we're speaking of someone knowing a fact, as in, Alice knows that it's raining outside. In this series, we'll be focusing on this knowing a fact sense of the verb to know. Sometimes this is called knowledge that. But actually, along with that, you can use question words like where or when. Pierre knows when the party will start, or Pierre knows where the party is. Knowing where the party is means knowing the answer to the question, where's the party? And that's going to be a fact, like the fact that the party is at Alice's place. Knowledge is a way of being latched onto a fact. It is thought that every language in the world has a word that works to translate this fact-grabbing sense of the verb to know. And this kind of global popularity is very rare. Only about 100 words are thought to be universal in this way. Around the world, verbs meaning to know are often used. It's one of the top 10 most common verbs in English, for example. So we often find ourselves talking about knowledge. But when we say what do we mean?
Who's doing that?
It can help to compare knowing and just believing. Consider these two sentences. 1. Alice knows that it's raining outside. 2. Pierre believes that it's raining outside. We instinctively feel some difference between Alice and Pierre, but what is it? Actually, we'll see there are several possible points of contrast here. The first and easiest has to do with truth. If Pierre just believes that it's raining outside where he is, maybe he's wrong. Maybe the rain has stopped and he's fooled by the sound of water dripping from the trees. The things we believe are sometimes true and sometimes false. What we actually know, on the other hand, has to be true or factual. So there's no problem saying Pierre believes it's raining, but it isn't. While it sounds weird to say, it's raining, but it isn't. This is because attachment to the truth is built into the meaning of knows that. Beyond truth, another key feature of knowledge is confidence. Let's suppose that Pierre is in a windowless room and he's been there for an hour. He could suspect that it's still raining outside, even if he's not totally sure. But if Alice knows that it's raining, she has no doubt. She's confident. So, is confident belief in a truth enough for knowing? Apparently not. There's at least one more thing we need. Imagine that Pierre is really pessimistic. He's always strongly convinced that things will go badly. He's often wrong, but sometimes he's right. Today, he wakes up in a windowless room, aware that Alice has planned a picnic because the forecast was
Hey, do me a favor, pause it real quick.
going to be
Yeah, sure. Can you guys?
All right.
It's almost over, but can you guys hear? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear it. Well, I'm hearing it. Sorry, Eric, I had to mute you because you were doing a lot of noise and shit. But yeah, I can hear it. But to relate that to coronavirus, let's say, from what I get from the video is that it seems like that she knew it was raining because she experienced it firsthand. It's raining, and that's how she knows it's raining, as opposed to the other dude that believes it would be raining, and because he believes it's raining, it's possible he could be telling the truth, or it's possible that he could be telling an unknowing lie.
So, it's interesting you say that because that actually relates to where they're going. It's really interesting. It's really interesting you say that. All right,
Yeah,
so this is almost over. So if you guys don't mind, I'm just
go ahead, finish it up.
terrible, he thinks.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's already raining right now. He's entirely confident that it's raining, although he can't actually see or hear the rain. And let's say by chance it turns out he's right this time. Does Pierre actually know that it's raining outside? If he
No, he doesn't.
it's something more than confident belief in a truth. Feeling pessimistic isn't a good basis for judgments about the weather. Your judgment needs to have a good basis in order to count as knowledge. But what kind of basis counts as good? Do you have to be standing outside getting wet? As we will see in the upcoming videos on the analysis of knowledge, this is a controversial question. But before we get to that problem, we'll tackle a more basic problem. Is knowledge even possible for us? Even in the best case scenario, when it feels like you're standing right outside, right in the rain, can you really know that it's raining outside? Could you be dreaming,
Pause it.
for example, on a clear night?
Yes, you can, because you're witnessing the rain at hand. Just responded to the vid, just saying.
Yeah, I'll respond to that, but let me just.
Okay, we can finish off the vid. I'm sorry. I don't know.
You're good.
This is the problem of skepticism, explored in the next video. The two following videos will explain possible solutions to skepticism.
Okay, so the idea would be, right, if it is raining, and the experience, right, the sensory data is actually given to you from a dream, right? Then in the sense you think it's raining, it wouldn't actually be raining. Even though like you're experiencing what you think is rain. And that's just an example to show that while empirical evidence and fundamentally this empiricism of of experience, it's important that it can't just be that by itself, because you run into these sorts of problems.
But at the same time, I mean, that's where I guess it's where I'm be challenging at, because I mean, if we could easily apply that to like anything personally, I don't know. I don't know what it is with me and guns right now, but but let's say you get shot by a person and you're bleeding and you're like, "Hey, I just got shot. I'm about to die."
Yeah. So
then you're like, then you can say, "Well, how do you know that you're gonna die from this gunshot?" When it's like, "Well, I didn't. I didn't have this feeling until I got shot. So because of that,
right. But the idea that you can't just base things off of that. Nobody does. I mean, we can see the way people operate. Nobody does that. The reason why is because if you just conceive of this as a sensory experience, well, you're leaving out how that is processed in the first place. So if I get shot, right? If I get shot, well, I'll have the experience of getting shot, but unless I have some, some processes in me, some are developed, some are innate, but unless I have that reason, right, I can't actually know that on some level, I'm lowercase knowledge, I'm getting shot.
Yeah, I feel like that's a bad example. Now that I think about that, I just presented it, but I'm trying to think of a better one. But, I mean, the rain. We'll just go with the rain example. Like, because we identify what rain is, which is water particles come from the clouds or whatnot. Like, we identify that as rain, and if you see that happening, we'll say, "Hey, it's raining," right? So, but what I get from this vid is that you don't know if it's exactly raining. So it's just like, well, what other evidence do you need to know that it is raining?
Well,
to know that it's raining, if you can't look outside or be in the rain itself and know that it's raining.
Well, so to have a robust response to this is exactly what epistemology studies. Like the reason people buy into so many conspiracy theories that are fallacious is because of the fact that they don't have this epistemology, this way to take the information and go from go from the information, right, to a knowledge about it. And
that's where I feel like that conspiracy theorists, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they just want to be Mr. Right without putting in the work to learn the knowledge of what it means to be Mr. Right, especially in the context of whatever the fuck they're talking about.
I feel like that's what the news and media does. They're always trying to be Mr. Right, and they're always trying to tell you what to think and how to act and what to do. And that's
not necessarily. I mean, when it comes to media itself, media's job is just to report on the facts that are happening around the world. Now, as far as the scientists goes, like they research and they specializes in particular fields, like going back to coronavirus, like they specialize in studying viruses and shit like this.
I said, it's about what they want them to think. You know, the media wants people to think what they want them to think because we're the majority. That the media is just there to make you. That's why when you look at the media, it's always the same stuff. It's videos out right now that can show you all these news stations literally saying the same thing word for word. Literally.
Because the media is reporting on what the facts of the situation is at hand. Like, I put it this way: if the media were to report let's say the conspiracy theorists are right, let's say they are right, and the media would most definitely regurgitate what the conspiracy theorists are saying
Why does the
about
media say
whatever they want to
conspiracy
say.
theorists?
But the
Did you
thing,
notice that? Why do
but
they
hold on,
name
hold on.
them?
I'm gonna finish my point. Let me finish my point real quick. But due to the fact that they just don't have any any evidence, because one could argue that they're not willing to do the groundwork to come up with that evidence to back up their stances or whatnot. Guess what? The media is going to look at them like, okay, dude, we're not going to report this because this just seems too outlandish. Whereas opposed to reporting on what scientists are saying, who actually spend time studying this and researching this and compiling evidence to come up with all of their hypotheses, their theories and whatnot. They're pretty much going to go with the side that has more credibility and validity and evidence to their side, as opposed to a conspiracy theorist saying Illuminati.
Who has all the money?
Who has all the money?
Mm.
What do you mean, as far as, well, what do you
Who
mean?
has all the money? Who has all the power? Who has all the influence?
The
Them. So why
bourgeoisie,
would they let the common person try to get a word out? See, this is what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, I get that, but I'm saying, like, I mean, either way, the media is gonna get, okay. Like CNN, we'll take CNN. Fuck it, CNN. Like, they're gonna make money off of whatever the fuck they report. Like, if they were to regurgitate a conspiracy theorist, they're still gonna get the same money, and they're still gonna get money whether they report it's a hoax or that, hey, it's real and you should practice social distancing. Like, the media's job as a whole is just to be is just to be pretty much the megaphone of what's going on around the world.
Okay, wait. So hold on a second. The problem I've spotted in this is that, in a way, you guys are both right, but it's
sorry to unmute. I'm gonna unmute Eric. Sorry. Go ahead.
In a way, you guys are both right, though, because the thing is, right, is that it is absolutely true, right, that there isn't the media. There's different large groups of media conglomerates that structurally have different incentives and so on. Like, for example, if you look at American corporate media, CNN, MSNBC, for example, right, they are distinctly held to be incentivized to make a profit, right? For example, so they'll make make headlines very sensationalist, right? They also by the structure, they tend to be, at least those two specifically, tend to be neoliberal. Fox News tends to be neoconservative, and the thing is that that's because they are owned as property by the ruling class. So the ruling class has an incentive to filter information in a way that is subservient to them. Now, with that said, there's also and this is not to be confused, there's also the scientific community. Now, the scientific community has very rigorous ways to check the accuracy of their information. I mean, it is baked into the methodology of science. That is why their information, right, is very reliable. So that's like what the scientific community says is separate than from, say, like, you know, what media conglomerates like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, and so on say, right? And so you guys are kind of talking about different things, but kind of construing them as the same. I can give a really good example of this, honestly. Have you guys heard of manufacturing consent?
What's that?
So this is a robust This is a robust epistemological model for how this stuff works, but it's not like the types of very separate from sort of the Alex Jones type conspiracies that aren't really based in anything, but I think it touches on the spirit of what you're getting at. So, okay, this is manufacturing consent, not this fucking advertisement, dear God. Okay, this is manufacturing consent.
Propaganda. Many use the word when talking about countries like North Korea, Kazakhstan, Iran. Countries viewed as authoritarian through the lens of the Western media. Press freedom, freedom of thought. People use those terms when talking about countries like the United States, France, Australia, democracies. In 1988, Noam Chomsky co-authored a book with Edward Herman called Manufacturing Consent. It blasted apart the notion that media acts as a check on political power, that media inform the public, serve the public, so that we can better engage in the political process. In fact, media manufacture our consent. They tell us what those in power need them to tell us so we can fall in line. Democracy is staged with the help of media that work as propaganda machines. Media operate through 5 filters. The first has to do with ownership. Mass media firms are big corporations. Often they're part of even bigger conglomerates. Their end game, profit. And so it's in their interest to push for whatever guarantees that profit. Critical journalism takes second place to the needs and interests of the corporation. The second filter exposes the real role of advertising. Media costs a lot more than consumers will ever pay. So who fills the gap? Advertisers. And what are the advertisers paying for? Audiences. And so it isn't so much that the media are selling you a product, their output. They're also selling advertisers a product, you. How does the establishment manage the media? That's the third filter. Journalism cannot be a check on power because the very system encourages complicity. Governments, corporations, big institutions know how to play the media game. They know how to influence the news narrative. They feed media scoops, official accounts, interviews with the experts. They make themselves crucial to the process of journalism. So those in power and those who report on them are in bed with each other. If you want to challenge power, you'll be pushed to the margins. Your name won't be down. You won't be getting in. You've lost your access. You've lost the story. When the media, journalists, whistleblowers, sources, stray away from the consensus, they get flack. That's the fourth filter. When the story is inconvenient for the powers that be, you'll see the flack machine in action, discrediting sources, trashing stories, and diverting the conversation. To manufacture consent, you need an enemy, a target. That common enemy is the fifth filter. Communism, terrorists, immigrants, a common enemy. A boogeyman to fear helps corral public opinion. 5 filters, one big media theory. Consent is being manufactured all around you, all the time.
Yeah, I seen that, and yeah, man, because there's so many like things to pay attention to when it comes to this. It really is. And I don't think people really noticed it. Like, why are they repeating the same shit to us every single day? Every single day.
Because the virus is okay. Well, because things are still continuously happening. Like,
Yeah, that's definitely okay. So
Like-
that is definitely part of it. You do have a point when you do say like, why are they talking about the same stories? In that there is a profit incentive to keep people glued to the same stories, right? But at the same time, I want to emphasize the point that this that like these structures of power, right? They're not something that someone like Donald Trump is fighting against. Donald Trump is a part of it.
Mhm.
I mean, when he acts as a demagogue, right? It goes to the last part of manufacturing consent, right? Where it talks about finding a scapegoat, right? For the serious problems that are going on.
yeah.
So it's not like Trump isn't in on all of this. But like it isn't. It is. And another thing too, I just want to say.
Not to mention, I mean, just to point out the guy that claims the media is fake news. He certainly loves the media attention when it comes to his private rallies. I mean, because it stands right now, he's still holding rallies as if he's president or running for president. So it's like, dude, I thought the media was fake news. So why the hell are you inviting your media to your rallies? Which, by the way, his rallies are a private event. He could choose to say, "Fuck the media. I just want to hold these private rallies." But I'm just saying. But yeah.
I mean, he operates under any publicity is good publicity, but
yeah, but I'm just pointing out the flaw in the whole fake news mantra or whatever. But yeah, sorry to interject, but yeah.
No. I guess it's just like when I say Trump is in on this, right? And this goes for this goes for media apparatuses in general, right? It's not like people get together in some smoke-filled room and are like, "Bro, ha ha ha! How shall we deceive people today?" It's a lot more.
Objection.
It's a lot more subtle. It's a lot
Objection. I must differentiate on that just a little bit, if I may. You forgot about Rupert Murdoch and the whole Bush-Gore election. So just saying. Like when they called the election earlier, like it kind of, as far as into Bush's favor, it forced it subconsciously kind of forced the rest of the media outlets to fall in line with them for some reason. And even though, like, after the recount in Florida, guess what? Technically, Al Gore should have been president because he won the popular and electoral college at the same time. But yeah,
no, I mean, like, just that are closer to that. But what I'm getting at is that it's not like, media leaders just get together all the time and vacation and decide how they're gonna oppress like everybody else, right? It's a lot more. Gotcha. It's a lot more subtle, based off of structural incentives that different organizations have. Like if you're a corporation that also is a news source, is a news outlet, right? You're going to like structurally be incentivized to, for example, push for narratives that that mean you may pay lower taxes, right?
Right. Gotcha.
Like you're a corporation, that you have a direct incentive to pay lower taxes to satisfy advertisers, and it creates this general ruling class where there are people that have a large portion of wealth, right? And then there's people that don't. Actually, as it's traditionally been defined, the bourgeoisie are the people that align themselves with the relationship of labor, whereas the proletariat align themselves with the production of labor, like the people that are making things versus the people that are controlling the things people make. That's the traditional class divide.
Mm-hmm.
You get into like subclassified.
I mean, they literally will make fun of us, though. They will
Like,
literally sit here and make fun of us about how people ain't eating this stuff. They will literally make fun of us while they sit back, don't really work as hard as normal people, but got way more money.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
this is a joke, yo. I mean, they literally told us when it first started, they literally said, everybody go home, lock down, do all of this. And it did nothing. And now they're telling us to do the same thing.
I mean,
It doesn't make any sense.
they're telling you because in this context of the coronavirus, that's how lockdowns are going to have to work until there's some type of vaccine. Which, from what I heard, there's not going to be one till like April or whatever. But until a vaccine happens, we have to find some way to at least prevent the spread of corona from going around. Like,
now think about this.
Okay, go
Don't
ahead.
you think it's kind of wrong for them to forcibly? Because you see, that's where it's going. It's going to force it on you. They gonna make it so bad to the point where you can't do nothing unless you get it, right? Don't you think that's kind of wrong?
I think it's wrong.
Hold on, let me answer the question. Let me answer the question, though, man.
Get like me or say like my family's sick, right?
I mean,
because they're not practicing social distancing or wearing masks. Like the media has plenty of problems, right? This is my point. The media has plenty of problems, plenty of structural problems, but the coronavirus safety measures are not a problem with the media at all. Like that's just a problem with the way we've managed the virus, and also like if we managed it better from day one, like we wouldn't have needed these measures today.
I feel like
hold on, I'm gonna finish.
What are you saying, Omega?
I mean, I'll put it to like this, dude. Like, because what Money AD was pretty. It's like, let me ask you a question, Money AD. If you go to the doctor, right, and the doctor, I don't know if you drink, right, or if you smoke. Let's say, do you smoke cigarettes? Yeah. Like, if you smoke a cigarette and the doctor tells you, hey, dude, listen, if you smoke one more cigarette, guess what? You will die. Are you gonna be like, man, but you're trying to force this belief on me? Or are you gonna be like, well, how do you know this? Because how do you know that I'm going to die if I smoke one more cigarette? And then the doctor will clearly be like, okay, based upon the results of what you got, dude, and how your lungs are reacting to cigarettes, like if you smoke one more cigarette, guess what? You will die. But what you're essentially saying is pretty much, no, man, you're trying to force this belief on me. So guess what? I'm still going to continue to smoke cigarettes.
Right.
I mean, you can't look at it from that perspective, you know. I mean, that's what pretty much all the specialists in COVID are pretty much telling you when they say practice social distancing and, you know, wear a mask and shit like this. And to be real, I can admit it is hell. I hate this shit. Like, I'm tired of this shit. You know, I want to go to bars and fuck bitches and shit like this here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of whenever I wanted to go to the store just to get some beer or cigarettes, they'll be like, okay, go wear the mask. And I'm like, motherfucker. Okay. Then I have to go back to my car and get a fucking mask and shit. I'm tired of this shit. You know, I want it to end. But at the same time, it's like, dude, if that's what it takes, but if this is what we really have to do as a society here in America to try to at least prevent the spread of the virus until we get more of a concrete solution to try to get rid of the virus, I mean, I'm willing to do that, especially if it means for one less person to die.
Now, here's the crazy part, right? This is the country, right, that never gave a damn about you if you couldn't even afford health care, right? If you didn't have no health care, they would let you die, right? So why all of a sudden do they care about us now?
Because it affects the economy, which gives them money. If people their workers are dying, right, they can't make money.
I'm just saying, though. I mean, but think about how many people actually exist compared to the people that actually are rich and have stuff.
Yeah, sure, and that's a huge problem. But what I'm saying is that doesn't mean that the scientific evidence, right, like the description of what scientists who practice this stuff professionally, like that doesn't change the truth of what they see. That just means that power structures act how you would expect.
Because I feel like they're getting so much control. Like, poverty brings death. We already know disease can bring death, but poverty brings death as well.
Yeah, America has a huge problem with class, a very distinct problem. It's one of the worst places for class in the developed countries.
You see what I'm saying? So all this time people are worried about a virus, but think about all the people that are not working and not doing anything and not getting anything and still got to pay bills. And think about the people who don't have to worry about this. And the same people who don't have to worry about this are the same people that are telling you about it.
I mean, and also to touch more on the poverty argument. I mean, as far as people are losing jobs and all that stuff, like what the opposition is advocating for is to stay at home, practice social distancing, and all that stuff, and at the same time, the government providing stimulus to help out any financial hardships that you're going through as you're staying at home. That's what like at least the Democratic Party is advocating for. Yes, they are shitty at presenting their message. I agree with you there, but at the same time, I just want to point that out there.
The stimulus is just there to put more of a chokehold on the people and make people more reliant on government. That's what the stimulus is there for. So you don't work, you don't do nothing, and you rely on them. And it raises,
relying on you can't not be reliant on a government. A government is the way people organize. It's the way people organize their society politically. You can't.
There's plenty of people that rely on government. There's plenty of people that use government because they can't make their own money.
I mean, but the very society we live in, right? And I mean this as in like it's not even a matter of like sure. It's not even like okay, so for example, right, like let's say that we have a government that's right libertarian, right? Like let's just say that the right libertarians get the type of government they want, where there's like almost like no services and like no regulation or whatever, right? Well, in that sort of government, right, people are still going to be dependent in the sense that the way the society is shaped as a result of the government or lack thereof directly determines their lives. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like it's not a choice between having government. What's a good way to describe it? You can tell I'm getting tired.
Yeah, we all is, man. But this is a good discussion. Go ahead.
I feel like I know what to say, and I'm also dozing off. So it's
it's all good. It is getting late.
Yeah, it is. But, oh man, I want to continue this shit too, but fuck.
All I'm really saying, to go back to the thing before, is just there's a stark difference between the legitimacy of coronavirus as a pandemic and as a problem and as what we should do about it, and also classism, right? Like classism is what you're describing as the problem, right? Money. But the thing is that coronavirus can still be a thing and a huge problem for everybody, right? And classism can still be true as well. Like they both can be true.
I hear you, Dark Master.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way. Let's see if I could do some share screen shit. Let's see.
Okay. I'm still up. Y'all done woke my ass back up. Look at
y'all. Y'all did too, because I just took another shot of my shit.
I woke my ass back up in this motherfucker.
Yeah. I had a feeling that coronavirus will get you woke up too, because I got to keep my stream going. But yeah. What the fuck? Why the fuck can I stream? Okay, Canada, that's right. Big Bang. Okay. All right, just take a look at this shit. Like, it's gonna show you like a graph real quick. I mean, Canada's death rate. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you see, like death rate, how they able and they practice the social distancing. Deaths are 12 and cases 49, recovered 305K. New Zealand's the best example. That's 1.5 million.
Yep.
They managed to like, holy shit, they really have flattened that curve and shit.
Also, Omega, I just want to add to your point that the information you're looking at, it's not like Google is just like telling you that. That shit we can track. Like we can just follow how they got that information and see directly the way that that information was discovered.
But
We
what
can
y'all
see that.
gotta understand is, hold on. But what y'all need to understand is that the numbers are being fluctuated. They're literally tagging.
What would be the
people
reason for them to fluctuate the numbers, man? What would be the reason?
so they can do the agenda like I've been explaining. They
But why
literally
would they?
came out and said this too. I'm not lying to y'all. They
I mean,
said it.
COVID deaths are. I mean, they've been steadily rising, especially in the United States.
Especially
Right,
around
because
Thanksgiving.
that's my bad, but that's what they want you to think so they can continue to do what they're doing. Like they're
Come on,
literally
man.
tagging people with this. Like I'm not lying. Like I've
Come
heard them
on,
say
man.
this.
I don't
Oh,
think
if this
you're. I don't
person
think you're
had this,
lying, but
we'll
I
mark
just
them as COVID. Like
like I
really?
don't see the evidence for what you're talking about, right? I mean, if anything, the ruling class is incentivized to stop COVID, right? Because it's destroying the economy that makes them money. And there just isn't any evidence to suggest otherwise.
They got all the money. They can get as much money as they want. Really, I mean,
Well, no.
you know,
They need workers to produce things to keep the economy going, right?
yeah, but back to what I was saying though. See, now back to what I was saying. You're right, Dark Master. But remember what I said. Remember, I was like, think about how many people are actually here. See, that's just the thing. It's too many people. It like I'm just keeping it real,
I
like
mean, there's a
from
lot of
their
people in the world.
perspective.
There's a lot of people in the world, but we can still track COVID deaths, right? We can still record who dies in hospitals from what.
All of
Through
a
their
lot of major
information.
countries have actually done this. Like
Through their
Canada, the
information.
UK,
I mean,
well,
that's how we determine these deaths. Like that's what a coroner does. That's his job.
You wanna know something funny?
okay,
None of us in here have it.
okay.
That's just funny.
4 people out of 150 billion.
Mhm.
I mean, just saying, dude.
I mean, hey, you know what? Hey, this has been a great conversation. You know, I hear y'all, and I
And
hope
FYI,
y'all
I
listen to
practice.
me.
So I try to practice social distancing. Well, I do practice. Yeah, I practice it fucking because
The global
my
population
job is an essential worker.
7.8 billion is the global population, and yeah, no, social distancing and masks they make sense empirically. That makes sense. And
Masks
so
don't even work. It says it on the box that it doesn't even work. If you look at the box, it says that it doesn't prevent that.
Which box for what?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
I'm not lying. I'm not lying,
I'm
yo.
not saying you're lying, but like which box are you talking
I'm
about?
saying you're lying, man. Come on, man. What box?
No.
serious.
Like somebody can be wrong and not lie. Like lying is
Okay,
lying
yeah.
is intent to deceive, but wrong is just like they're mistaken.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. My bad. I'll take that back. Not lying, but you just wrong. I'll say
But
that.
you know, but okay, right? Because they said it's like, you know, an airborne, right? Well, we already know that the way they talk about it is microscopic, which means it could easily go through the mask. Just like it doesn't make any sense. You see, oh, go to the restaurant, take the mask off.
The
It
mask
just
increases the
why
chance
would
of
a
water
little cotton
droplet
$2 mask stop a deadly
getting
virus? A
into
cotton
somebody.
$2 mask.
Could be infected.
Think about that. A
Infected.
$2 cotton mask can stop a deadly virus.
It can help reduce the spread of a virus. Like
No. Like empirically, it does reduce the spread just because of geometry.
It's control, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's control. It's control. Think about
can I ask
what
a
I'm
personal
telling y'all.
question to you?
They
Do you
get
practice social
y'all to
distancing?
wear the
but it's
mask.
not.
Hold on, wait.
Oh,
Just
go
listen
ahead.
what I'm
That's
telling y'all.
different than what you're describing, fam.
Just wait. They get y'all to wear the mask. Now think about what they gonna get y'all to do next. They already got y'all doing all. I mean, life is horrible right now. When you really think about it, all because of what they said. Okay. Think about what's finna happen to y'all next. We already know that they're finna shoot us up with who knows what without your permission. So just think about what's coming next. Think
Okay,
about
well,
it.
question right there. I got to stop you there because I see this from a lot of right wingers. I don't know if you're on the right or not, but I'm just
Nah, I'm
I
neither.
see. But I just see this statement a lot from. I see this statement from people. I'll say that in general. What do you think will happen next once they get you to control you to do that? Like, just throw it out there. Anything.
Well, the next thing that's going to happen is they're going to hit you with these vaccines, which is going to have a lot of stuff in it. So where they'll be able to track you and do other stuff, the money is going to collapse, and there's going to be a one world currency, and they're going to be able to track you and do everything just like they're trying to do now. Just like how they was like, oh, put it on your phone so we can know if you're around somebody. This is all about finances and control. It has nothing to do with a pandemic. Nothing.
Can we just draw a distinction?
Are
right?
you sure about that, Money?
Wait.
I'm sure.
Can we draw a distinction when we say them? Can we draw a huge chasm
Just to be sure.
between scientists and large media conglomerates, right? Like there's a rigorous process in the scientific community. Like just go look up peer review, right? As just an easy example. And look up what the scientific method is. Scientists need to go through that if they're going to actually publish any results and say anything. Like it needs to go through that filtering process. If it doesn't, then they're not able to, they can't, like, because of the checks and balances in the system. And there isn't any way to escape that. Scientists, you know, it's not prescriptive. It's not like they're telling people from on high, like, you know, we think this and you should believe it. It's more that they're telling people we're describing this, right? Here's our method, right? And here's what we found going through it.
There's such thing as real science and fake science. See, the thing is, they could just pick anybody up there, put a suit on them, and say they're a scientist. They do it all the time.
No, but the difference is in the methodology, right? So the real
within the checks and balances, they typically try to rule out the fake scientists, because I mean, I feel like I see where this could essentially lead off to. Like, there are some dipshit conspiratorial people that are in the scientific community, but they tend to be good about denouncing all of those scientists or whatnot.
Yes,
like
exactly.
Alex Jones, if Alex Jones were to be like, "Hey, I'm a scientist," they'll be like, "Oh no, motherfucker, you're not a scientist." Like pretty much they would denounce it. Like their checks and balances seems more concrete.
Okay, now let me bring this up real quick. Now let's talk about censorship, right? So why does every time somebody comes out and actually says something against the mainstream narrative, they're censoring their bad? Why? When you say
because they usually don't have any empirical evidence to back up why that their narrative disproves the mainstream media's narrative that they're just a megaphone of.
Yeah,
so
like if somebody
they can have freedom of speech, but not us.
Like it's pretty much like I'll bring it down to you like this. There's a difference between political correctness and being just incorrect. Like example, when Trump says that Muslims are like all Muslims are terrorists, that we should ban them from the country, it's like, dude, you're not being politically correct. You're just factually incorrect. You're just being a dick. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, there's a difference between that's so when people are like saying, oh well, the media is censoring certain people from saying claims that discredit what the media is projecting from actual reality. It's just it's not even really censoring. It's just them. It's just the ecosystem of the media saying, hey, this motherfucker is wrong. But yeah,
that's censorship.
Saying something is wrong is not really censorship. Like, well, my definition of censorship is like saying it's like me trying to get your channel right now eliminated completely for whatever reason, as opposed to me just responding to your videos or what you're saying you're wrong. Like, me saying you're wrong is not censorship. That's just me saying,
that's how you know,
hey, I disagree or you're wrong based upon what my evidence, as opposed. You
that's
know
how you know it's an agenda, because they're not allowing free speech.
I mean,
that's how you know it's an agenda.
I mean, you're allowed free speech, but at the same time, well, this is where free speech, in my opinion, gets kind of complicated, and it's a different. But like you have a right to free speech, but at the same time, you don't have a right to be popular for your free speech. Like,
Like freedom of
But they
speech,
can
not
though.
freedom of consequence.
But
No.
they can.
I mean, when you say
So Money, you're saying all this stuff. Like, where's your evidence, man?
I got evidence. I'm on my tablet right now, but trust me, I could back up everything I'm saying. But it's late. I'm on my tablet, so
and I
you know
guess
I could show y'all another day when I'm back on my laptop.
I mean, maybe one of the things I would just say though is that whenever you talk about any of this, right? What's most important in all of this is the method, right? So it's like if you throw out something, right? It needs to have a method so that we can actually tell what it is, right? Like tell that it's true specifically. Because it's like if the problem with fallacious reasoning is that it doesn't actually support the thing.
It's okay. I mean, I'm just trying to, give y'all some good points, something to start you off with. But
and you know what? To be real with you,
I
I appreciate you because you're it feels like kind of like 2-on-1, and I respect you for just dealing with that. You know what I'm saying?
All
Going back
good.
and forth.
I mean, I got love for y'all. I had fun with y'all tonight. This has been so cool. Real talk.
Yeah. This has been
yeah.
a pretty stimulating conversation and whatnot.
I got a feeling we're gonna talk again soon. I got that feeling.
Definitely. But finish your point, Dark Master. Dark Master. Hello. Okay. Well, he muted himself. So
damn.
But whatever. But I mean, I'm just saying, dude. Fuck, it's 3:00 my time. Fuck, I actually got to go to work pretty soon in the morning. But
I was just pouring myself a little bit more wine.
Oh damn. Okay, what kind of wine you drink, man?
Well, I was drinking Red Blend earlier, but I think that this is something else. I don't have the name offhand.
Dark Master in the zone. He in the zone.
Man,
Omega in the zone too.
I got McNaughton, and I shouldn't be doing this because I have to go to work pretty soon. So I'm gonna be fucked up. But the thing about my job is like I'm in logistics. I'm not gonna say the company for doxing's sake, but I'm just in logistics where pretty much I have to distribute out TVs and other type of electronics and shit like this, but mainly TVs right now. And and because of Christmas holiday season, we're getting swamped. So that's why I have to work on Sundays for right now.
Oh, okay. You work on Sundays.
Yeah, I know. As part of Allah, you have to kill me, but whatever. But anyway, the point is, fuck, I forgot my fucking point.
Omega, you should get Skype at some point, and we could talk on there for a bit.
Yeah, I really should get more into Skype and be more technically savvy, but and I have the technology to do it, as you guys. I've just been lazy as fuck about it because I got like a $800, $900 computer, and but
I understand, man, because we get kind of like wrapped up in the way we feel and what we're doing.
But I remember our main point. Yeah, what kind of because here's the thing, I got like a voucher from my ex-wife for $100 for like a wine site, and and I've been trying to like order some wine shit. Like I even tried to do this on Black Friday, but I just don't know. Like I'm just not a wine person. Like I've always just been a straight liquor drinker or beer drinker.
Yeah. So, one of the reasons I probably like wine the best is because if you want to do thinking for a long period of time, grapes and nuts are excellent foods to keep your glucose replenished, right? Because your brain, especially when you're thinking hard, uses a lot of glucose. Like it's a really it's like a car that burns fuel really badly, right? Like it burns through that incredibly fast. So because wine is grape based, it kind of serves doubly to like, fulfill that need of keeping me in more sustained thought.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, because I'm gonna just keep it real. Like, I mean, that's no offense, but I mean, for one, I always thought like wine was more like a female thing. Like, women drink that and shit. And I was gonna get the wine just for when I bring bitches over and want to fuck them. I'll be like, here, bitch, take some wine. And you know what I'm saying? Shit like this. Yeah, like shit like that.
Not one of the enemies. I seen that comment.
Yeah, like
Eric.
What'd you say?
I seen that comment saying our whole money is not one of the enemies. I seen that from Eric.
It can be,
just to be sure.
but to touch my more point, maybe for what I always looked at the stereotypical aspect as far as like why being for females and for two. I mean, I tried wine, but I guess I tried like the cheap wine at 7-Eleven because a female brought over like she brought some cheap ass shit, and all I know is in the morning my stomach was all fucked up, and I started throwing up. But yeah, I mean, but that's interesting. But I mean, maybe I should go in more. But my point is, you know, I definitely want to be intrigued onto why, because I'm an experimental type of person. I've tried. I mean, if you knew me more, Dark Master, you'll know as far as like trying things such as drugs in particular, I've been more experimental as far as trying shit. So you know,
I very rarely get shit faced, as my Australian friends would put it. But
you're from Australia?
No, I said as my Australian friends would put it.
My bad.
Yeah, I do drink regularly. As far as general substances go, I mean, I'm not a big fan of weed and most substances. My partner and I do like the occasional psychedelics though.
Like I'm a fan of weed, but like I don't know. For some reason, ever since they made weed legal here in Washington State, like I be getting paranoid and shit. Like I be getting silent.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I was chilling with another bitch and she had like some weed and I was just a mute. Like, and you know when you interact with other bitches, you know you gotta like keep conversation going. So you can fuck up.
Okay, so weed doesn't. I don't know if weed quite makes me feel paranoid, but it kind of makes me. Here's how I put it: like, it kind of puts me in like a very sensitive state, and it's like if I got to do stuff, I can't really be in that state, and also do that substance. So I generally take things to the extent that I take anything that will help me do the task I'm trying to do. Yeah. Also, I should just say that my girlfriend really likes wine as well, but she also wasn't a wine person until I got her into it.
Right. Like
she doesn't drink much, but she does, drink a little bit.
Yeah, going back to your point, I mean, you're right about that. I feel like that should be really the point of drugs. Like I used to be hard into ecstasy, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like ecstasy was like ecstasy. I was like, okay, I forgot what movie is this called, but it's a movie where a dude, he took a pill and he knew he could learn anything within seconds. But I forgot what the movie is called. It's But pretty much he bought a pill from a dude and he instantly knew everything within seconds. Like he could learn French, he could write a book, he got into stock instantly, and he was just some average schmuck like me. Like he learned all this shit instantly. And he got addicted to the pill to the point where like I mean he went back to the dude's house and that dude got killed by the people who were plugging him for those pills, and he went into like their stove and found like his main stash, and he took that stash and he just kept taking pills like it was mnemonic to him, you know. I forgot what that movie is called though, but
yeah.
Damn,
so
that reminds me of another movie.
Drugs should generally be decriminalized, and drug problems should be treated as a health issue, not a criminal issue.
Well, it depends. Well, since you brought that up, since we're on drugs, it depends on actually the drug. Like, what as far as what the drug does to people. Like, I don't know. Like, Uh,
Oregon
well,
actually
then,
just
then again, I mean, I though I have never tried this drug, but like I don't know. From what I hear from meth, I believe you shouldn't do meth, but like
yeah,
like
no,
like
I know like meth is a really bad one. But the thing is that Oregon, the state of Oregon, actually decriminalized all drugs in this last election cycle.
yeah, that's I was just about to bring that up essentially too. Like, and I'm right next to Oregon, so yeah.
But I think that really the way people need to start thinking about this, and a lot of it does go back to class actually. Like, you know, if you don't have much money, you know, you're just in a really bad place in life. You know, maybe you were abused a lot, right? You're gonna be way more likely to not only try substances, right, but to stay on them. And so it's like we gotta look at these problems very intersectionally, and we have to really look at them in terms of health.
Yeah, true. I mean, even though at the same time, I mean, when you say that, I mean, do you mean that as far as like
like
how do I
if
put
you have a problem with drinking, you go to a clinic and you go into therapy, right, with other people that have similar problems, and you know, form a sort of brotherhood, you know, a camaraderie to overcome that problem in your life, right? And you do other things to like get your life generally on track, so you won't be tempted to go back to substances to escape your problems, right? So that's that is the way that addictive substances, right, are empirically shown to be treatable if the addiction.
Yeah, true. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I agree with you there.
Like,
I mean, but at the same time, I mean, well, then, what is your own personal thesis as far as, because I'm pretty sure because I'm known for a fact that there are people who have money that are in the upper class that do these drugs. You know, but put it this way, that's how I got into drugs. Like people would, I mean, because this is an interesting thing. My mom would tell me that, you know, if I get into private school, I would stay away from drugs and all this other shit, and I'll have a better life, blah, 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 whatever. But it's been proven from what I've seen that that's really the total opposite. Like,
well, people that have money, do elect to do drugs, right? And some of them may form a drug addiction because they may have money, right, but they may still feel really bad for a number of reasons. Like, for example, if somebody grew up abused, you know, their deep psychological problems, they don't just go away because they get money, right? It's a process they have to work through, and drugs can very often be an escape if they're used as a tool to be an escape, to avoid fixing the problems that they have.
Okay, well,
okay, I hope that's a more complete answer.
Yeah, it does. True that.
But that's why I said, you know, that's why I said that we have to look at this intersectionally, right? Because intersectionalism, the approach is that you don't just look at a problem from one cause, right? But you try to identify all of the causes that are relevant to what is causing the problem. So, you know, mental health, obviously class is one of the biggest ones. You know, you got to look at the ways in which discrimination can happen through, you know, race and gender, obviously.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I guess I'm finna head out because it's like 5 o'clock. It's 5:21 my time right now.
So from my time, it's even later.
Yeah. So I had a good conversation with y'all tonight. I'm gonna be in the background if y'all still going, but I appreciate y'all for having me on here. Thanks a lot, Omega.
Oh, no problem, man. Good to meet you, Money AD. I may end up in this stream too, because, you know, I have to get up for work and shit like this.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get going. Like I've noticed for the past 40 minutes or so that I've just been significantly declining just because of tiredness, right? Like
Right. I mean, I'm slowly getting there too. I mean, yeah. But definitely keep me in the loop of your eyes, and we can keep this shit going.
yeah, definitely. Honestly, it was a pleasant surprise.
It really was for me. Like I was up and I saw the stream on Dragon Knight, and I was just like, yeah, fuck it, I'll leave a comment and see how y'all doing. But
and that's how it all began. It
I
all
don't
began with
usually-
him falling asleep.
I don't usually expect this level of discourse amongst streams that are relevant to him. Usually, it's like I have to go to my friends or something for something more like this. So it's nice, definitely nice.
Right. If you guys want to keep up with me, I mean, to keep the link going, I mean, on my channel, there's a link in my there should be a link on my Facebook. You guys can just send a friend request or whatever, and I can just approve it, and we could just have that way we can set up more streams like this, and it could be obviously more organized. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you need my Skype, because I don't use Facebook and I really don't have much incentive to, but I know like there's several people in this, I guess in these groups that also use Skype as well. So you probably have more of an incentive to use Skype than I do. But if you need my Skype account, I would just contact ZTB and.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Skype, whatever. I'm down for whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, nice talking to you guys.
Yep, I'm gonna end this cast. So yeah, thanks for everybody. Thanks to Money AD, Dark Master, and Eric Battle for being here.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna just end it like that, and y'all have a good evening. Until next time.
All right,
you
same
too,
here.
man.